1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
So Melanie, what motivated you to join the PSNI?
I think it was just the desire to want to help people. I've always been in a sort of helping profession. I joined a wee bit later in life, but it was just to help people when they're in need.
And what sort of misconceptions do you think that the PSNI have?
I think a lot of people just think that they are the guys in uniforms who drive around with the blue lights on, but actually as a service there are so many other opportunities, different departments, different roles within the organisation. There's a lot of career progression opportunities.
Were there any sort of barriers that you faced as you're joining the police force?
Actually, the time that I was joining, there was a recruitment freeze, so you got to apply and then nothing happened for almost 2 years.
Right.
So that was quite frustrating just on a personal level, but the organisation were good at helping you go through each part of the application process and letting you know how long things were going to take. It was something that was out of their control. It was just a budget problem with Stormont, so that was the only barrier to...
I suppose it's sort of like a given, but have you ever been discriminated against for your job?
In work, yes, obviously, sometimes there might be a few shops that aren't very happy about serving you in the city, but thankfully that's something that is definitely declining and decreasing. Outside of work, I don't really tell very many people what to do, so I'm not really experiencing that discrimination there.
Would discrimination be a very common thing as a police officer?
I think so, yeah. I think that when people are under the influence of alcohol or drugs, or they're very highly emotional because of an incident that has happened, they tend to get very personal. So I wear glasses, I'm always a speggy. It's just the first thing that they notice about you, and you become very thick-skinned about it. You know, it's not really personal. You do have to develop the skills to not take it personally, because that person is in a heightened state, and probably when they calm down, you know, they might actually wear glasses as well, and that's just my common one. I know that other people have different, if you have a certain hair color.
Just looking for things tended to offend you with.
Something to needle under your skin.
So how does media make the PSNI look?
Well, the problem, I guess, with media is that one officer that makes one mistake affects the other 6,000 odd. So it's that one rotten apple, and it gives a bad perception then to everyone else, which can be very frustrating when you know that you have integrity and you know that you wouldn't do something wrong, and then because this one person has, you're tarred with that same brush, and then out in the community you're feeling the effects of another person's mistake. So that can be difficult. And
would you feel safe off duty whenever you're out of uniform? Would you feel safe?
I do, because I make myself safe, as in I have cameras at my house, I check under my car, I ask my children to check under their cars because they're of driving age. I think it's important to be aware.
And do you think that our generation, my generation, are more likely to commit crimes as of recent times, maybe back instead of maybe past generations?
I think that when you are your age, maybe you're less aware of the risks involved with certain behaviours, and I think that that's maybe always been an age thing. Where you think it's just a bit of crack and maybe don't even realise that it's a criminal offence. So I'm not sure if... I think your generation are more aware than ours probably were, so no, we were probably worse, being honest.
Well, that's all my questions anyway, thank you.
Thank you very much, Daragh.
Hi, I'm Dwayne. I'm a sergeant in Strand Road Police Station, attached to one of the neighbourhood teams, and other officers with me today are also on my team.
And my starting question would be that, do you feel that our generation and above do you think they'd fear the PSNI? And how would that make you feel if they did?
There is still elements of the community who do fear the police. I think it's PSNI, but police across the whole of the world. People are obviously very wary of police service. It is very disappointing because what you have to remember, majority of us are all sons, parents ourselves, brothers, sisters. We're only human like everyone else. So we want to be treated like humans, and we do our best to treat everybody we deal with like humans as well. So it is disappointing, but things do improve.
Would you say that you fear any certain groups more than others?
There's certain groupings, yes, we're obviously very aware of. We're in Northern Ireland, so we're aware of the past and we're aware of the political situation. So yes, we're wary of certain people, but we still do our job and we treat everybody the same. And that's why we police impartially. But we're wary of them, we're not scared of them, but we're very wary of different groups of people.
How would you overcome problems like that?
I think it's how the police deal with people. And a lot of the time, people make their assumptions and their decisions on their first interaction with police. So it's very important from our point of view that we deal with people properly. And that's done with impartiality, honesty and openness. And if we set that base level, I think people then actually realise we're here for the right reasons and we're not something to be scared of.
Yeah. Have you ever been frightened for your life while doing your job in the city?
In the past, I joined 1997, 1998. It was a different time then. So there was times, yes, and I worked a number of places across the city, in Northern Ireland in general. There is times, yes, people have been very scared for various reasons, but where we're at now today, the country's in a lot better place and people aren't as scared, but we're always very wary and we have to do our job at the same time. But at the minute, we're in a good place.
I would sort of be the same about being wary, because as you know, a person who goes to a Protestant school, well, primarily Protestant school, going into town is kind of a scary thing for me because it's mostly Catholics around here and not all people would feel comfortable around me, and a lot of other people scared me by doing weird things. But anyways.
No, that's good, and that's why it's important to talk these things through, and that's why these events like this here, when we can interact with youth and younger people, well, it's important that we can put our story across and tell them what we're really about, and then hopefully then everybody can have an understanding of each other and ourselves as well, and really move forward.
Yeah.
Become tolerant.
So could you give an example of a positive experience which has helped you become more comfortable in town?
In recent years, my team in particular, we've made a lot of inroads with a lot of various youth groups. There's still a lot of people who don't want to get involved with us, which is disappointing. But I think it's really good to see there is young people who want to do events like this here and engage and hear our opinions. And that's really heartening for myself and the likes of my team who spend so much time, working our way into places by just doing our job and being honest and dealing with things. In MPT, we're in neighbourhood policing, so we have a bit more time to deal with things. And then I think that sort of gives people a bit of confidence in us, and that's why we get a lot of calls in the background that people are confident that they can mull things over before they take it to the next stage. I think we just buy that with a thinking time. So I have seen things change by the way, particularly MPT, neighbourhood policing goes, and then more and more interaction with youth groups definitely makes a big difference for us. Because they're the future, definitely.
Yeah, so how would you feel that the city could support the PSNI more?
Again, I think just trust us. Trust us to do your job, and then that's over to us, that your first interaction with us is very, very positive. And if we can build the basis off that, well then people will move forward and build confidence in us. And then obviously that makes us a lot more confident and happy.
So, what would be one of the things that you'd like to see change in the police service?
Armoured cars. I would like to see the back of armoured cars. Well, unfortunately we're not there yet, but no, that's one thing we would have. But it's a thing we have to work with in the meantime. But someday it will happen. It'll be a lot easier, more comfortable. They're very uncomfortable.
Well, how do you think young people could bring positiveness to the city?
In relation to policing or just in general?
Both.
Both. I think just be themselves. I think young people get a bad reputation, I think it's a difficult time for young people growing up. I probably wouldn't want to grow up now. You have so much more, to contend with. Like social media was never a thing for us when we were growing up, but now it's a massive part of your lives and there's a lot of pressure on you for that. So I think those things would be like, if you just come forward, I'll be more encouraging and positive.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
No problem.